Let's plan out 2022. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Sutton. I'm an indie author of 6 young adult romance books, and I forgot to film an intro, so I'm coming back in post-editing to film an intro. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how I'm going to plan out my writing schedule for 2022. I actually recorded this video, I think, a few days before the end of the year, so it's back in December, so some things I'll say will still sound like it's not the new year yet, but it is now, 2022. Welcome. So yeah, without further ado, we're just going to hop in because I don't really know what else to fill the intro with. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this kind of video. Comment down below if you plan out your writing schedule, and let's hop in. So let's dive into the planner, little planner walkthrough initially, and then we're going to be planning out my year of writing. Before we start, let's light a candle. If I can find out where I put my lighter. So before we begin, I want to talk a little bit about my planner. I do use the Day Designer 2022 weekly flagship planner. I absolutely love it. It's so gorgeous. It's in the style of romance. Very beautiful. So this is the kind of first page, and I wanted to figure out like what my word for the year was going to be. And I struggled for the longest time figuring it out, but I think I've finally figured out like a word that fits what I want my year to look like. I want to thrive this year. You know, I want to be my happiest self and my most comfortable self, because something I struggle with kind of a lot is confidence, and so I just want to like be my most confident self and thrive. So that is our word for this year. Sarah Sutton. And then you come up to the 12-month overview from January to December. And for this planner, I opted for the weekly planner. They do have a daily option on their website, but I think a weekly planner would fit me a lot better. For 2021, I did use a daily planner, and I just didn't find myself opening it every day, but I think I would find myself opening a weekly planner every week. So I did get the weekly planner, and this is what the weekly layout looks like. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday are smaller, mostly because it kind of conforms to the like take a break on the weekend mindset, which I love, and gives you some great to-dos, todays, and I think it's just going to help me feel a lot more structured in my weeks, because if you know me, I did do some stationery in a lot of vlogs where I would like decorate one full page, and I would love it, but I didn't always do it every day, and it just didn't feel as cohesive. Whereas this way, I can do it for a full week, and it can feel cohesive and pretty and fun, and yeah, that's the mindset anyway. I will say it does feel a little scary writing in this because it's just such a brand new planner. But it's fine. And plus, I don't like know things. I mean, this is like a dream, a goal. It's not set in stone, so that makes me a little bit nervous. But right now, in my self-publishing process, I am planning to release 3 books in 2022. Ideally, I would have loved to have released more, but the books I want to write, they just are happening in the last half of the year, which is scary, but okay, it's fine. So I'm planning to release a book on here. Let's do this pink for book releases. On the 3rd. I like to release on Wednesdays. I work on Tuesdays, so it just kind of makes more sense to release on a Wednesday instead of taking a Tuesday off. Usually people release on Tuesdays to like better their chances of getting on lists like the USA Today bestsellers list. I am a long way from that goal, so I'm not like I really don't care. So Wednesdays, I want to release on Wednesdays because right now I am working on Tuesdays. So Wednesday I want to release a book, Wednesday, August 3rd. And then I did have an idea to release a book, another Christmas book next year. So I probably would release that on November 30th. This is where I come like a little bit like, oh no, because I can't, releasing books so quickly, you know, it's scary. But I think I want to release one in October too. Maybe October 5th. Is that crazy? Well, it's set in stone now. The thing is, these two books are going to be in the same series, and I really wanted to fast release this series, but I still want to do a Christmas book. So that is why I want to release a book in November/December, because I do want to do another Christmas book, because I have a fantastic idea for one, you know, if I say so myself. So that's why I wanted to release this one here. But so let's say I have these 3 books that I want to release. And I think on average, it takes me about 6 months to have a book from start to completion. This book, I'm actually working on it right now. I'm going to be finishing the first draft before the end of December. That's like backtrack. Well, if I finish the first draft in December, I want to take January off of the book. So that means I have to come back for draft 2 in February, send it to betas by March, give them in the entirety of March, and then edit like for the beginning of the month, send it to my editor. My editor gets it back to me, finish those edits. Then I would have it finished ideally in June. Ideally. That's the ideal. Well, maybe I wouldn't take the entirety of January off. That's kind of the timeline then, huh? If I had started working on it on the 15th, it's kind of hard to know when I want to plan things out, but I will say something has changed in my mindset lately, which is taking a full month off from a book entirely, which it's not going to work for everybody. Everybody has their own kind of routine. I think taking 2 weeks off works for me, because by that point I'm really itching to dive in, and I don't want to like put my creativity on hold just because I need to wait a month. Like if I were to think about it as like a normal job, am I zoomed in? No, that's weird. I feel like I'm zoomed in. If I were to think of it from a normal job perspective, I could never take a month off of a project. I think taking 2 weeks off is probably a good idea, and in that time I can just like relax or maybe work on another project. But yeah, I can't take a month off from a day job, so I feel like it just kind of makes sense from a career perspective to just keep going. A lot of authors I know do that. They keep going, so yeah. I think for me, I'm going to try it out. Obviously, dedicate some time, some days into the month where I have complete days off. I mentioned that actually I have no idea what video it was. I'm filming a lot of videos lately. I mentioned it in a video recently how I want to dedicate days off for myself going into the new year. Like, if I always take Tuesdays off, I don't think it's going to be able to work that way because client work is so inconsistent. But to sit down every single week and say, okay, which 2 days off a week, which 2 days this week can I take fully off of writing and client work, and then do it like that. So that being said, I realize how scary it is to write these things in this planner, and like what if it doesn't happen. So I don't think I have any like baby sticky notes. Don't think I have a pencil out here either. I guess I can always just come back through with white out. It's not that big of a deal. My breath is starting to fog in the air. That is hilarious. Oh my gosh, you can see it. So if I were to backtrack it that way, I would probably say start, well, maybe, let's do different colors for each book now, okay? So, red would be Christmas, or red can be the October book, green can be Christmas, and then this can be the August book. So this would be start the August book draft 2 on December 15th, right there. And then get that sent to betas by February 15th. Okay, so send that to betas February 15th. And then get it back from betas March 15th. Have it sent to my editor April 1st, because that's generally a smaller window for me. Send it to the editor, and maybe the editor can get it back to me by the 29th. And then a full month of edits and proofs there. And to hopefully have it finished in June. That doesn't sound... We'll have it fully done by June 30th. So going back from there, what I want to do this time is to see how I work with 2 books at once. So, but if this is going to be, send it to, start draft 2, send to betas. So I have from this month, from February 15th to March 15th, to work on a new book. No, I'm going to say start draft 1 here. I want to fast draft this draft. So end draft 1 here. I know it sounds insane. Stick with me. Fast draft 2 here. And then start draft 2 on the 16th. And then finish draft 2, hopefully by the 15th, on the same day as this one. Because then I'm going to be editing from there. So that I have the entire month. Finish draft 2. Send it to betas. Betas have it for a month. And then that area kind of makes it a little bit easier for me. So hopefully maybe send it to my editor on the 29th. Or send it to an editor. I don't know if it's going to be the same one, but because I don't know the caseload, but send it to an editor around that time. The editor will have it for probably a month, so she'll get it back to me, or they'll get it back to me on the 29th. From there, let's say I have a month to work on it and fully complete it by June 29th, maybe July. Now, Christmas book. I actually don't want to start that until maybe start it. I don't know, guys. Hang on. So maybe start draft 1 on a Monday the 23rd. And then since I will be finalizing the October book in this month, maybe I will give myself a month to write the first draft. Yeah, that sound okay? And then start on draft 2. It's 2 weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks. Start draft 2 here. Send it to betas by the 31st. Betas have it for a month. So betas have it for a month. Start the draft. Send it to my editor. Editor gives it back to me probably a month. Finish the book in its entirety by the 1st. Which feels a little bit more rushed, obviously, because these ones I'm going to be working on and they're going to be done literally months. This one's going to be done at least a whole month before. This one's going to be done several months before. So the Christmas one kind of feels a little bit rushed, but I do think this one's going to be shorter. So I feel good about that. Now the problem is deciphering what all of these X's mean. Can I make a little key? So I think that's what I want to do. And then maybe go back through. My ideal writing schedule is going to look like this year. Obviously with some time off. I'm going to be planning that every week in between. But yeah, that's kind of how I want it to look. My fingers are getting so red. But we will see. Everything is always subject to change. Obviously, life has its way of throwing things in a blender. I don't know where I was going with that phrase. Things could change. Things are definitely subject to change, but that is my goal. That is what I plan on doing, 3 books in a year. I don't love the fact that they're all in the last half of the year. It makes me very nervous to see how the first half of the year is going to go, but I think it's going to be interesting to say the least. And of course, I will be documenting it on this writing channel on this journey, so follow me along, subscribe, have that bell notification. Yeah, we'll see if I can write 3 books in a year. Because, so for 2021, I think I only fully wrote, fully draft 1 to finish draft 1 book, and that was Christmas as We Know It, because Can't Catch a Breath released in January and that was already basically done, and then Destelle's book released, Two Kinds of Us released, I'm so used to calling it that, Two Kinds of Us released in June, and I already was on draft 2 going into 2021. So technically I will have draft 1 of my August book completely finished, so I really just have to really fully write 2 books. And that's going to be interesting. So I'm sitting here in my room, working on my publishing schedule. I'm writing it down in my notebook now. So I went through and wrote it in the planner like you guys just saw. But I decided to transfer it into my notebook too. And I just realized, yes, that's the books I want to publish. But I still want to be writing books in the last half of the year, which I didn't really do. So, like, the game plan is to get ahead. So to have so my next series is going to be, I've been saying 7 books, but there's one book story that in the series that's just like not clicking right now. So a potentially 7 book series, could be 6, could be 5, who knows. Potentially 7 book series. I want to get ahead, so I really want to be able to like get these books out, like written and done and stuff, you know? And I realized, Sarah, you really wanted to write like at least the first 3 drafts, the first drafts first. That's what I wanted to do. So I literally did all of this planning, probably for no reason, because now that I'm thinking about it, like, but then again, I really have to stick to it so I don't like run out of time at the end, you know? Ooh. But anyway, either way, oh, my battery's flashing. Of course it is. Either way, I still have to plan out my writing schedule for the last months of the year because I have the first 6 months are pretty booked up with the first 3 books that I'm writing. But the last 6 months, I only have like draft 2 and draft 3 and then the final edits of my Christmas book. But like I have to be working on another book while I'm not working on the Christmas book. So I just realized I still have to plan that. So I didn't include that in the video. But I'm going to include a clip next. I gotta stop because my battery is about to die. But the next clip that I'm going to include is going to be talking about how I plan things out and, you know, am I going to like be like super strict about my writing schedule? What's happening? And let's jump into that clip. So I'm wearing the same sweater. I just realized that. It's fine. I'm looking at the clips now. This is like several weeks later. So am I going to be super strict with my writing schedule this year? No. Yes. No. Let's talk about it. I'm going into this year with a different kind of mindset when it comes to writing. I'm going to be looking at this aspect of my career as if it were a full-time job. I mentioned this before in like different vlogs, live streams, I don't remember where, but I want to treat my writing this year as a full-time job, as if I'm working a 40-hour work week with 2 days off. I think looking at writing like that is going to help me kind of stay on track and stop procrastinating, which I have like a huge tendency of doing. I don't think it would work for everybody because I can totally understand like looking at writing as if it's a full-time job could be a little bit hard. But for me, I've always kind of looked at writing not necessarily as a job, but it is a huge source of my income. So it makes sense for me to want to grow this kind of career that I am trying to build because I am wanting to be a full-time author. So I feel like transitioning my mindset into a full-time 40-hour work week now is a good idea. And so I've recently posted about that writing challenge where I wanted to write fast draft a novel in 15 days, which you would have seen when we were planning it out on the planner. And I have found those kinds of deadlines, however crazy they might be, do get my butt moving, or I guess it puts my butt in my chair. So I guess my butt doesn't move, but my fingers do. Because I am typing away, because I find myself so like, I don't want to procrastinate because I really want to try and get it done, which for me is very helpful. Fast deadlines don't stress me out. In fact, they kind of make me more excited to like achieve them and hit them. So I think for me, I probably am really weird in that regard because I know a lot of people do get stressed out by deadlines. And maybe if it was like too quick, I'd get stressed out. But at this moment in my life, I'm okay with kind of stricter deadlines because it takes the procrastination and it cuts it in half. What I do plan to do every week, and I don't remember if I mentioned it in the blog or not, but I wanted to sit down every week and plan out 2 days where I can take fully off of writing. And I need to try and hold myself accountable because knowing me, I won't want to take those days off, but I do think days off are important. Like nobody works like 7 days a week all the time. So yeah, that is what I'm planning on doing. I think that's why if anybody is curious, that is kind of why I'm doing deadline to deadline to deadline, because I want to look at this like a job, like a career that I want to build and to flourish. I think I will definitely be taking at least 2 days off a week, but I think this writing schedule for now, as of January 2022, we're not in 2020 anymore, sheesh, 2022, I think for now, it is definitely a good schedule for me. It may change by February of 2022. Who knows? I said February really weird, but you know, right now, I like that idea and we're going to stick with it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Sarah Sutton. I'm an indie author of 6 books. That I did not do that intro in the beginning part of this video. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.